wonder who helps to keep members of Parliament and public office holders in check to prevent any conflict of interest between their public duties and private interests? That would be the office of the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner, administered by Mary Dawson, who supports the House of Commons in governing the conduct of its members. The Conflict of Interest Code for members of the House of Commons came into effect in 2004, while the Conflict of Interest Act for public office holders was established in 2006. All inquiries and investigations are private, but final reports are made public and tabled in the House of Commons. Dawson strives to ensure that all elected and appointed officials comply with these regulations.
Well, there's some requirements that they have right up front, which is to disclose their holdings and various pieces of information about themselves. And so that's my first introduction to a new public office holder or a new minister, new member of Parliament.
And the work is not without its challenges. Plus, MPs can request an examination of the conduct of other members or public officials if concerned they're going against the code or act.
As the years go on, we have annual reviews of their holdings, and then there are, in the odd occasion, investigations if there's issues, and we play quite a large advisory role for either the members or the public office holders. We get a lot of phone calls asking for advice about this and that, and so that's kind of the day-to-day activity in the place.
Dawson was appointed in July 2007. At the time, the Conflict of Interest Act came into force, and the position of Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner was created under the Federal Accountability Act.
My background is in public law, has been in public law, particularly constitutional law in more recent years. So I've always been interested in how government works and Parliament. And so it fit in some ways for me.
Prior to her role as Ethics Commissioner, Dawson had a long and outstanding career with the Government of Canada, during which she managed a wide range of legal issues from within the Department of Justice. She retired in 2005 after nearly 20 years as Associate Deputy Minister.
I left the Department of Justice in 2005. I was retired for 2 years, although I did some contract work, and then I just got a call saying would I be interested in this particular job. Never thought of it. Thought about it for a few weeks and decided, well, why not?
And here's a bit of trivia. She was the final drafter of the Constitution Act in 1982, including the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And until her retirement, she drafted and was the primary legal advisor for all constitutional amendments, including the Meech Lake Accord and the Charlottetown Accord.
It was my very first experience with constitutional conferences, as a matter of fact. That last November, the November 1981 conference that produced the final draft. But of course it was a work in progress. It had been going on for years. Meech Lake and Charlottetown I was even more heavily involved in because I took them from the beginning and was the drafter on both of those as well. There's been 2 commissioners before me, but the previous one, Bernard Shapiro, was also independent of the government. But before that, the commissioners were part of the government apparatus. And then I became a little more independent because I have an act that I'm administering as opposed to just a code.
Dawson notes her office is very concerned about transparency, and making information available to the public is a priority. The other part of their educational role is dealing with other jurisdictions and countries that approach them for advice.
I think I consider the role to be largely an education role. I mean, I'm not looking to find people guilty of disobeying the rules. What I'm looking to is to explain what the rules are, and generally speaking, I find that both the MPs and the public office holders want to obey the rules, and it's a question of understanding them.